A change of just a few percent inches the Planck constant, a number so small you'd need scientific notation to write it. And every drop of blood inches your body would turn to tar. The universe is tuned so precisely for life that physicists at Queen Mary University of London have now mapped the exact margin of error. And it is terrifyingly thin. Visual, type data glitch value, few percent, unit margin of error, context before all life ceases, duration. But the discovery they published, inches, Science Advances, contains a deeper implication that almost no mainstream outlet has dared to spell out. One that points to something the scientific establishment has spent a century trying to avoid. Because 3 months after this paper appeared, a quiet revision was added, and what it suggests about why the constants of physics have these exact values changes everything. Visual, type classified, stamp. Text confidential, position top right, duration through. To understand what Professor Kostya Trachenko has actually discovered, you have to start with a question physicists have been afraid to ask out loud for decades. Why is water exactly the way it is? Not philosophically, not poetically, physically, mechanically. Why does water at room temperature have a viscosity of approximately 1 millipascal second? Why not 10? Why not 100? Why not the consistency of honey or molten glass or liquid mercury? For most of the 20th century, the answer was a shrug. Water is water. It just is. But Trachenko, a condensed matter physicist who has spent his career studying how liquids actually flow at the quantum level, refused to accept that answer. And what he found, published first inches 2023 and expanded inches coverage through May of 2026, has rewritten our understanding of the relationship between physics and biology. Trachenko's team derived something extraordinary, a lower limit on viscosity itself, calculated using nothing but the fundamental constants of the universe. Data. Type. Stat value. 5. Unit as constants. Context. Determine the floor of viscosity dramatic sound, true. 5 numbers. Planck's constant. The electron charge, the speed of light, the mass of the electron, the mass of the proton. From these 5 values, the bedrock numbers of reality, you can calculate the absolute minimum viscosity any liquid inches our universe could possibly have. Visual, type terminal, readout lines. Planck constant. 626C34 J's electron. Charge, 1602A19 speed of light. 299,792,458 ms electron mass. 9109E 31 kilograms proton mass. 167327 kilograms viscosity. Floor calculated duration. And here is where the chill sets in. Water sits about 10 times above that quantum minimum. Not 1,000 times, not 1,000,000, 10. And blood, the fluid that carries oxygen through every cell of your body, sits at a viscosity that Trachenko himself describes as not far from the intrinsic viscosity, calculated using the fundamental constants only. Read that again. The fluid keeping you alive right now is calibrated almost exactly to the bottom edge of what the laws of physics permit. The grain of the universe itself, the quantum graininess woven into space and time, sets a floor, and life is sitting on that floor. Now consider what this means. Life depends on motion within absurdly narrow limits. Nutrients have to diffuse through cell membranes. Proteins have to fold into specific shapes within milliseconds. Molecular motors, actual microscopic machines inside your cells, have to haul cargo from one end of the cell to the other. All of these processes require a Goldilocks viscosity. Too thick and the motors stall. Too thin and the molecules can't collide with the precision needed for biochemistry to function. And Trachenko's calculation reveals something that should be on the front page of every newspaper on Earth. That Goldilocks zone is not set by biology. It's set by the fundamental constants of physics. Visual type conspiracy board nodes, Planck constant quantum graininess, water viscosity. 10x minimum, blood viscosity near quantum floor, fundamental constants, fine-tuned, life exists not by accident. Duration. If you changed Planck's constant by just a few percent, if you nudged the electron charge by a similar amount, water would either become as viscous as tar or so thin it couldn't sustain the molecular interactions life requires. Data. Type comparison label. A universe with our constants. Label B universe with constants shifted 5%, inches the first universe, hours. There is liquid water, there is flowing blood, there is photosynthesis, there are oceans, there is you. Inches the second universe. Almost identical, differing by margins so small they would be invisible to any instrument. There is nothing. No cells, no motion, no life of any kind we could recognize. Just sterile chemistry, frozen inches, molasses, or whipping away into vapor before it can form anything. Visual, type SARC signal, interference duration. This is what physicists call the fine-tuning problem. And for decades, it has been the most uncomfortable open secret inches cosmology. The fine-tuning problem says this: the constants of physics appear to be set with such surgical precision that the slightest deviation would make life impossible. Not just human life, any complex chemistry whatsoever. For decades, scientists have noted this about gravity, about the strong nuclear force, about the cosmological constant. But Trachenko has now extended the argument into territory it has never reached before. He has extended it into biology. This is, according to the published research, the first time anyone has connected the constraints on how fluids must flow inside living organisms directly to the constants of fundamental physics. Think about what that sentence actually means. Until now, fine-tuning arguments lived inches the realm of cosmology. Abstract things like the expansion rate of the universe, or the strength of nuclear binding. Things you can't touch, things that feel distant from daily life. But Trachenko has dragged fine-tuning into your bloodstream, into your cells, into the molecular motors carrying proteins across the synapses of your brain as you watch this video. The same 5 constants that decide whether galaxies can form also decide whether your blood can flow. And they're tuned, not by a little, within a window of a few percent. So what's the alternative theory? Why are the constants tuned this way? Mainstream physics offers 3 answers, and Trachenko himself has hinted at a 4th that almost nobody is discussing openly. The first answer is the multiverse. The idea that there are infinite universes, each with different constants, and we happen to live inches the rare one that allows life. We exist here because we couldn't exist anywhere else. It's a selection effect. The problem? There is no direct evidence for any other universe. It is, by definition, untestable. It is metaphysics dressed inches mathematics. The second answer is design. That something, call it what you want, set the dials. This is the answer most scientists refuse to publish because it crosses the line into theology. But the math doesn't care about that line. The math just says, the dials are set, and they are set with precision. The third answer is brute fact. The constants are what they are. Stop asking. And then there is the 4th, the one Trachenko himself raised when he compared the situation to biological evolution. He suggested that the constants may have emerged through multiple stages of tuning. Traits, he said, appear independently over time. The implication, and he didn't spell it out, but the implication is there, is that the universe itself may evolve. That constants may not be fixed, that something more dynamic is happening at the foundation of reality than physicists have ever admitted. A universe that evolves toward life. A cosmos that, through some mechanism we do not yet understand, refines itself across vast time toward conditions where biology becomes possible. This is not a fringe theory. This is the lead author of a Science Advances paper, openly drawing the comparison. And once you understand the depth of what he's proposing, you cannot unsee it. The viscosity of your blood. The folding of every protein inches your body. The diffusion of oxygen across your lungs. All of it, every breath, every heartbeat, every conscious thought, is sustained by 5 numbers that should not, statistically speaking, be set this way. And yet they are. Here is what disturbs me most about this story. When Trachenko's 2023 paper first appeared, it was reported quietly. A few specialist outlets, some discussion inches physics circles, then silence. But inches May of 2026, ScienceDaily ran a renewed feature on the work, and the framing had shifted. The original 2023 coverage emphasized the technical achievement, a lower bound on viscosity. The 2026 coverage emphasized something far more provocative, that biology and cosmology might be tied at the deepest level. Why the delay? Why the quiet? Some have suggested that the implications were simply too uncomfortable for the mainstream physics community to engage with directly, that admitting biology is fine-tuned at the quantum level opens doors most scientists would rather keep closed. I'll let you draw your own conclusions. What we know is this: the universe has a recipe. The recipe has 5 ingredients, and those ingredients are measured with a precision that, if you saw it inches a kitchen, you would assume a chef had set every quantity by hand. A few percent inches either direction, and there is no life. None. Anywhere. Ever. So the question I want to leave you with is simple, and I genuinely want your answer inches the comments. Is this a cosmic coincidence? Is it the result of an infinite multiverse we'll never see? Is it evolution at the level of physics itself? Or is it something else? Something we don't yet have the vocabulary to describe, because Professor Trachenko has shown us the dials. He has shown us how finely they are set. He has shown us that your blood, your breath, your very existence depends on values that did not have to be this way. He has not told us who or what set them. That part is still waiting for an answer. If this video made you look at your own heartbeat differently, subscribe. Because next week, I'm going to show you what happens when you apply Trachenko's same method to the constants governing consciousness itself. And the result is something no mainstream journal has published yet. Until then, keep questioning the numbers nobody told you to question.